This is The Last of Us Part 1, so don't get too excited. I'm not fucking giving Naughty Dog my money for The Last of Us Part 2. But I do love the first game. And I think maybe there'll be some like handy lessons for people living in Seattle right now or Portland, because I understand they're putting there's talk about like a CHAZ in Portland and maybe some other woke cities. I don't think it's going to happen the same way it happened in Seattle. I think that was pretty spontaneous. One could argue that all of Minneapolis has turned into a CHAZ, as well as Ferguson. But yeah, I think it's time to leave the big cities if you want to be safe and free, because they're being run like garbage, and the people in them don't appreciate it. So it's probably a good idea to really consider relocating if you live in a big city in the United States, or even in like not just the United States. I mean, they're tearing down monuments all over the UK for some fucking reason. And if you live in Canada, you're lucky because it's a really low population area. Okay. So in the first game, you play as Joel, and you have to escort Ellie across the country to meet with the Fireflies so that they can essentially reverse engineer her for a cure for the virus. So it's related to... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm okay. So it's related to the world building, the plot, you know? It's like relevant stuff. In the sequel, I don't hear much about the virus and the infected. You know, it's more just personal beef. That already bothers me, in my opinion. That's how they would, the tack they would take. Hey, Shaman King. So these are raiders or brigands or just like dudes like living off grid and stealing and killing people for their shit. I guess raiders is the best way to put it. Full on tape. I'm sneaking past them. For some reason, they're not moving. Whatever they're talking about must be really fucking interesting. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna try something. Actually, you know what? No, that's not going to work. It's one of the things that I always thought was funny about this game is that now that I've lit this Molotov, I can put it away and nothing happens. It's like, okay. Trying to see what my options are. You can do it, I guess, in the number of different ways if you wish. Could skip those guys. There are dudes in here as well. I can go up these stairs. Oh shit. Did I get fucking combat will draw gunfire of your foes? I haven't played this in a while. Where am I? Oh, now these assholes are moving around. What difficulty is this? I think it's on hard, but I don't know. I haven't, because I played it on PS3, and then I got the remastered because I like the game a lot, and I was just like, yeah, I may as well play at a higher frame rate, maybe like a nicer resolution, you know. But I think that I probably increase the difficulty a bit. You know what? Something else they're not saying about The Last of Us Part 2, I haven't heard anyone say anything about this yet, is if it's going to have multiplayer. Because the first one had a multiplayer that was pretty darn fun. It was called Factions, and I haven't heard anything about that on here. I think that they legit, like, took out more. I also saw the reviews, and I know I'm going to talk about this with Mike J on Wednesday if we do a Nerdcast, which I kind of hope we do, but you never know. I heard that well, I saw the reviews. That's what I meant to say. I saw reviews from the media, and I don't know how they did it, but they were essentially saying the game is perfect and great and 10 out of 10, but also not great and flawed. I mean, you could see that they were basically like paid for. Where's this last asshole at? what you're looking at, but okay. I mean, this is a last-gen game. I'm not going to give it too much shit for the enemy AI. Like, they're not dumb when they're fighting you, but they are dumb with their patrolling. It doesn't make any sense. I think I'm going to go, like, lower level first. I got a gun too, but I'm not gonna... I gotta save my ammo.
Go check over that way.
And of course, Ellie is invisible, so, like, you can't see her.
Go check over that way. Oh shit!
You're right. Hey, dummy!
Come on. No, man. Come on.
Ah, damn it. I'm rusty as shit. I would like the record to show that I fucking called it. Ever since the very first teaser trailer came out, I was skeptical with the story direction, and all the reviews I've seen from people whose opinions I trust have confirmed it. Wyatt, I think it came out that they had a multiplayer, but it got scrapped. Yeah, because apparently to these assholes, that's not important. It's not as important as their fucking woke bullshit. They really dropped the ball on The Last of Us Part 2. I'm amazed. Wait, what's going on here? Where am I? I got a brick still. I should probably heal, but... I think I'm taking, like, more risks than I normally would when I played this, because I can't remember, like, my way of doing things, you know? It's been so long. I started to play this and I was thinking about streaming it, and the reason was because I wanted to show like how this game was so good. I know it's really dark. I hope you guys can see this. You know what's funny is in the second one, they make the enemies more diverse. But, like in this one, they're mostly like rough and tumble dudes, and in the second one, there's like frumpy Asian chicks and stuff that are like the enemies, but that actually kind of makes less sense. I don't know if you know what I mean, but it's like they're trying too hard. I can go scavenge in there, but... Oh my god, bitch. Did you do that? I'm just gonna use this. Get my health back. I didn't want to, but I can still, like, quickly make it, too, so... Okay.
Hurry.
They're not doing anything. Is that guy just gonna stand there? Zarinx, good morning. So what you're saying is you want to convince your audience to buy the sequel, you naughty dog shill. Unsubscribed. No, I think that people should check out the original. I know that with all the console wars and the fucking, you know, this other shit about, like, I don't know, fan allegiances and whatnot, it's like, I'll go up these stairs and see if I can do something this way. I don't know if I've ever done things this way before. Okay, there goes a guy on patrol right there. There's a dude facing the other way. That guy is pretty far. I think I can... I don't know, maybe. Oh, really, nigga? Let's see, maybe I can throw the brick.
shit.
All right, motherfucker.
Holy shit, Joel.
Fuck me! Get this prick! Come on, man, let's go!
Oh shit. Imagine being invested in the console wars. I mean, I like the games on the PlayStation, so is insofar as that goes. All right. So, did you guys hear about Dave Filoni? And that he like took it to those misogynist fake Star Wars fans that wanted their movies to be good and apparently hate it when women are taking up space or something like that. You know, a lot of people that were making video content, like, you know, Geeks and Gamers, like Doomcock, like Nerdrotic.com, the Fandom Menace, the guys over at, you know, what is it, World Class Bullshitters. So many of these places, these guys thought that Filoni was their fucking messiah. And they were wrong.
Hey, coward!
I don't know why they're surprised, but they are. They seem to be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he could do this to us." And I'm over here like, I tried to tell y'all motherfuckers. I tried to tell everybody. There's no hero at Lucasfilm. There's no hero at Disney that's going to save you and like resurrect the franchise the way you want. It's over. It's over because they're all gynocentric pussies. They're not going to like treat the franchise with respect. And I'm going to tell you right now, because now people are like, well, Jon Favreau will save us. No, he's not. I'm going to fucking motherfucker. Why couldn't I keep beating him up? The fuck? Fucking... Alright.
The edge of the universe and back.
Excuse me?
Dr. Starlight. The comic I've been reading? The hero says after the battle.
Endure and survive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ellie is a much more likable character in this game than I think she's going to be in this other game. There are people who have straight up said that like they don't even recognize her in the sequel. And they're blaming it, or they're justifying it, or the mental gymnastics involved, or something like, oh, well, you know, she's grown, and it's like a hard world, and, you know, and look, I get it. When people grow up, they do change a bit, but this is a video game. You know, people's, like, addiction to their nihilistic realism, and by the way, whenever they describe realism, they're really describing nihilism, because there's never anything like idealistic about it. There's never anything aspirational about it. It's always like depressing, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to be like you. You have like a really negative outlook. How is it a video game could exist like The Last of Us Part 2, and the reviews that it gets from the people who love it are saying things like, yeah, I was just so tired of all of the killing and all of the gore, and I know that these people tend to be pussies, but it's not just that. Apparently see, she tells jokes to like try to alleviate the tension. She's a good release in this game, even if what she says is kind of cringe, but it's like they're aware of that, right? She's like a little kid that's I'm telling you, man, the moment they made her a lesbian in like the DLC, she became humorless. She was a great character. They fucked it up. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being a lesbian. I'm saying that when they write these characters, there's clearly like a political, socio-cultural element that makes it difficult for them to write characters well because they're so focused on bringing diversity of some kind, and so they can't even tell a good story because they're just like they're so busy sucking each other's dicks off for what they did, for this huge favor they bestowed upon us and the LGBT community, to how they fixed homophobia by putting a lesbian in their game, that they haven't bothered to think about whether or not they've actually made a decent game. I'm scrounging for shit. Oh, bullets. That's always good. Tape. Let me see. I have the supplies to make another bomb. Not enough sugar. I could make a shiv, but I think I've maxed out on shivs. Melee upgrade. No, that's kind of a waste, actually. I don't like doing that. I'll buy a bomb. I'll make a bomb. Alright. Now I can buy some... Grab the tape. No? Okay. Never mind. How do I reload? I forget. Wait. Let me see. Is it X? No. Is it R1? No. Damn it. Is it L1? L2? No, that's aim. R2? Okay. So the shoot button when not aiming is the reload button. That makes sense. Okay. I'm just gonna reload all my shit right quick. Okay. We're good now. Alright. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, like, I don't know why people are still surprised by this. They still act like we've just, you know, that this is such a disappointment. It's like, guys, everybody's dead. No. Like, you have... Because here's the thing. There are people who want to avoid the political discussion altogether. They're like, oh, I hate politics in my stuff. Well, the fact is that to the left, everything is political. And so they will use that against you to say, well, this or that franchise or medium has always been political, and so you can't... You're basically like being a child by not... acknowledging this reality, of course, right? And so what you should be saying is, I would like my content to be more universal. I would like my content to speak more to the human experience instead of like some special interest experience. Oh, brick, must be my birthday. And I think that's the first thing. The second thing is that once you understand that to the left and to these like people in the entertainment industry, everything is political, then you will understand that I guess let me just look here, because once you fall down, you basically drop into the next area. Can I go this way? Nope. This ain't Uncharted, although I heard they made the next game more like Uncharted. For some reason, Ellie has turned into the Tomb Raider, even though that's never been like the point of these games. But okay. But I forgot what I was saying.
You gotta be crazy to string up soldiers.
You get people desperate enough, they'll do just about anything.
And the people that rose up, they're the ones we've been fighting here?
Be not bad.
This was the CHAZ zone. They locked that up, so I can't go there. Okay, let's keep going. We're going this way.
Let's see where this leads us.
So, yeah, once you realize that this is unavoidable, then you'll realize that you have to fight.
On these drops.
This is a culture war. And I know that people who say, oh, the culture war is cringe or whatever, but the fact is, we're in it regardless. And it's been going on for a long time. And I think that it's basically like, if we want to preserve what we have left, we have to win the culture war. It's not just about, like, all the political shit going on. Okay.
They saw us.
There's our bridge. We're a little closer. I think.
Just keep at it. Come on.
I want to look over here first, though. Usually, it's the first rule of video games. If the video game tells you to go a certain direction, go the opposite direction first. Because you might find a secret.
That girl is so skinny.
What girl? Oh well. Stop shaming her body type, Ellie. She probably had anorexia or something.
I thought you had plenty of food in your time.
Well, we did. Some just chose not to eat it.
Why the hell not?
For looks.
That's stupid.
She's not that skinny. All right. R2 when you're not aiming. Oh, thanks, Wyatt. I didn't even look until just now. One review actually compared The Last of Us 2 to the Disney Star Wars movies. Yeah, that guy... No, that I saw that review. Well, let me rephrase that. Hold on a second. I have to check something. I'm getting a message from my wife. I just got to respond to her really quick. Okay. Honestly, it makes so little sense when you compare the women on the poster to Tess or Marlene. This exchange was written by someone who really, really wants you to know he cares about women. I heard it's cause Ellie is not so funny in Last of Us 2, although I put it on the fact that she isn't the only tomboy anymore. I think that you could, for all of the problems in The Last of Us Part 2 storytelling, just like all the problems in Star Wars, all the problems with Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Discovery, Doctor Who, and the list goes on and on and on, Terminator Dark Fate, etc., there are ways for you to do the mental gymnastics required to say, oh, this is why this character is different, or this is why the franchise tonally has shifted in this way, or this is why the setting is different, or the world building is different. And of course, these woke assholes at these, like, entertainment media corporations, they're going to tell you some excuse, some reason that they have, that things have changed, or that this character isn't the way you recognize them. And of course, you're not supposed to question that, because to them, these characters are living, breathing human beings that actually can change over time, like real people. But the truth is, they're not human beings. They're characters in a fictional story that are kind of like archetypes, you could say. Get you up where? Where do you need to go, Ellie? Maybe over here? Or is this gonna... am I gonna drop in here too? I'll probably have to swim.
Hey, there's one of those floating raft things again.
Right here.
Can we use it?
See where this goes.
But the fact is, they're not doing this because they think it's like... oh, shit. They're not doing this because, you know, they think that these characters are just organically changing, because they're not real. They're writing them this way on purpose. They don't actually care about what was, especially when it comes to stuff that has like, do I have to put it right here for you, Ellie? Come on. You don't have to jump.
Oh, easy.
Don't worry, all you gonna drop it.
Excuse me.
All right. Now you just need to find a way up.
Oh, maybe I can go in here.
Oh, this place stinks.
Yeah, wood's all right.
Did you go to coffee shops a lot?
I did. All the time.
And what would you get?
Just coffee.
One thing I wish this game had more of is the option not to engage. Yeah, basically whenever there's a set piece, you just have to interact with people, right? So there's no like, oh, I'm everybody. And they could have, you know, because essentially they were still carrying over this mentality from Uncharted, where, and I love the Uncharted games, don't get me wrong, but basically Uncharted, you go from, it's relatively linear, and you go from set piece to set piece, and then you overcome the obstacles, and they basically just raise the stakes, you know, more powerful enemies, more interesting environments, etc. And that's how you go. You just go from start to finish, and you do that. Kind of like, I mean, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, those were like that too. I figure as a game, for the game to evolve, it should have improved on more things. And based on what I've heard, I'm not going to go this way yet. I'm going to go over here first. I want to see what's over here. There might be a secret. So... uh-oh. There is stuff here. Stash note. It goes down tonight. We're going to take the eastern checkpoint. I've stashed some extra supplies at the Regal Apartments marked with a red X. Okay. That's a shiv. I don't need it. There's some of this shit, some of that. I think that's it. All right.
Do you think those hunters are gone?
About to find out.
All right, let's go.
It's clear, Ellie. Come on down.
You ever stayed at a place like this? Before? Along with your shoulder?
It's too high.
Let's see what we can find.
All these characters have mysteriously come down with a case of can't remember shit and lose previously established character motivation and lessons. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can, like, get people to understand, like, what's really happening. But I can use The Last of Us as my example. Oh, look, something to talk about.
This coffee.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't know if I could make it. I'd fucking hang myself. Without coffee. I'm really addicted. It's a problem. But, like, you can see it unfolding. Like, all right, let's start Neil Druckmann. Let's just use him as an example, since I'm playing The Last of Us. Okay, so he wasn't the lead guy on the first game. He was an assistant director on the first game. He was involved. Okay, but he wasn't the guy. Amy Hennig, who was a female, but a really good character writer, who gave us really great. The really great characters in the Uncharted series, and doesn't tend to look at these.
I'll check in food one night, and I would like your finest sweet, please.
What the hell are you doing?
Why, yes, you can take my luggage upstairs.
You are a weird kid.
This is like they're basically showing their characters, you know, like relationship develop. That's the whole game. It's their relationship developing over time. But anyway, okay. So you got Neil Druckmann. He's working at Naughty Dog. He's probably pretty progressive already. Let's be real, okay? He's probably, like, you know, a feminist, and he probably thinks that women need a leg up, and, you know, that we live in a white supremacist society. Basically, he probably believes that, or believed that, you know, despite the fact that he's trying to work at a major corporation to sell video games, that capitalism is evil, because it stifles creativity or something. Yeah, I was gonna go get the ladder. I just didn't. I wanted to make sure I grabbed everything. And you know, he probably has, like, he's blue-pilled as fuck, right? Basically. Okay, Ellie, go ahead and climb it. No? Where was I supposed to put it? I don't understand. Okay, well anyway, I'll move it until it's in the right spot. I think I know what the problem is. Because fucking video games. Now? Yeah, now I can climb it. So dumb. So okay, so you're blue-pilled as fuck, right? And you worked on Uncharted games, and you worked with women, but you still believe, for some reason, that women have, like, they've been oppressed historically, and they need a leg up and all that. So then you watch Anita Sarkeesian's series on tropes versus women, and you get it in your head that things are far worse than you thought, and that only you can save the industry, and by extension women, by essentially like caving in to this bitch's needs, who doesn't play video games, by the way, and doesn't even like them. And you get it in your head that you want to like make things better, because it's up to you to do it, and so you basically do these things. And all you're doing is you're doubling down, or you're basically like strengthening the resolve you already have for something that you already feel strongly about. So when people say, and by the way, once you adopt that, like, you know, how well you write a story, or what's that? How well you write a story. I think I'm gonna go back down. Sorry, guys. Let me get this, use this ladder to get this shit over here, if it lets me. Oh, yeah. I could use that. So, once you have realize that you have like a calling, like a higher calling, which is essentially what Anita's doing, and how she's affected Neil Druckmann is very much in line with the let's say the standard relationship between men and women. A woman complains about something, and a man comes to help her. And the problem is that we don't stop to ask whether or not the woman's complaints are valid. We just accept them as valid.
Oh, shit. Get down, get down.
All right, just this week. Hey, I'm not complaining.
We done here?
Got on the floor to check, man.
Check for what? I ain't seen a clicker in weeks.
It's because we're thorough. We're gonna...
Get asshole!
Check out this area. You, check over there.
Bitch, get out of the way!
Son of a...
Oh, shit.
Motherfucker.
Oh, fuck.
Really fought back. I'm gonna heal up over here. Son of a bitch. Actually, I'm gonna take the brick. Yeah, sure. I'll upgrade the pipe. I think it's the strongest weapon melee-wise, so I think it is. Make sure that I explore this area upside, top, and bottom. So anyway, what I'm saying is that the main challenge here that people don't seem to get is they think that progressive politics are basically normal, in general they're a set of somewhat reasonable expectations and beliefs, and that the progressives just take it too far, right? But like generally, people sort of would characterize themselves as progressive. So when progressives go too far, they appear to be confused because they think that being a good person means being a progressive, and these people are not good. In fact, they're pretty evil, in my mind, because they don't believe in law and order. They think that no one who isn't among them or isn't one of them actually cares about good, and that they're all just they're not pure, basically. And that's the problem, right? It comes down to these purity tests and stuff. And so people like Druckmann, they're trying to buck these like ideas of gender roles and of femininity and masculinity, and they characterize masculinity as evil and destructive. Like, this is all stuff that they do, or at least they claim that they want to do. But in reality, they're not. They're pretty much like, they're pretty strict on their own gender roles. Druckmann felt that video games are misogynistic. When he says that, he attacks the entire industry. He criticizes everybody who makes video games. I know, I'm gonna go, fuck, you guys gotta bother me. I'm trying to, like, explore. And the reason why is because he's trying to show everyone that he's the only good man. He is the one good man, which isn't, that's not bucking any stereotypes. There's nothing like, anti-establishment about that thinking. He's literally doing what men have done all through history when women ask. And Anita is not doing anything different by asking. She is doing what all women do. When they want something, they complain until they get it. So there's literally nothing like new under the sun here. But, oh, wait a minute. Hell yeah. Fucking snack. That's probably like old as fuck. But okay. It gave me some health, so I guess that's all that matters. Okay, I've been here. Just want to make sure that I've looked at everything, because I think the next area is probably going to have infected in it. There's a brick in there. Okay, I think we're good. Just double checking. Look out. Alright. Yeah, I've been this way. So we're gonna go this way. So, like, there, you know, there's that. Then there's, like, I think I said this already, and I apologize. I'm a little distracted because I'm playing the game and talking at the same time. But there is this idea that, for whatever reason, progressives believe that it is only through them that you can find absolution, that you know what's right and wrong, right? Anyone who doesn't do things the way progressives say you should are, okay, this is another floor of enemies. Anyone who doesn't do things the way progressives say you should be doing things, well, they're not really progressives. So they fail the purity test. Are these guys all together? Do I have another Molotov? No, they're not. Charles Fourier likely thought he was the one good man, and look at the result. Damn, there's like 3 more motherfuckers over here. What is that guy doing downstairs? Whatever. Is he coming up? Oh yeah, he's right there. I don't remember. Wait, how did this... Did I not kill this dude when I was downstairs?
Look, man. We can work something out, okay?
No.
Holy shit!
Oh, fuck.
I did what I gotta do, Ellie. I gotta quit in a little bit. Hello, Adam John. Iron Adam John. I liked Why the Last Man, but it couldn't go out a bit deeper in the relationship between the genders. Basically, too many of those women were too well adjusted for having half the world die suddenly. I've never read it. I mean, do you really think that is it really like a non-feminist comic book? Because I know I heard it was, but I wonder, you know, like if you really look at it on the surface, maybe, but I don't know. If we accept that being kind of red-pilled on women is unusual and it's rare and most people aren't this way, even if they claim they are, I mean, like, I listened to a show with Stefan yesterday where he had a black woman call in and talk about how hard her life was because she's a black woman and how hard it is to find a good man and all this other shit, and he didn't call her out on it at all. He didn't, like, all of the ways in which she basically claimed she was a victim of white supremacy, of society, of her mother, of black men in general, and at no point did he say, why did your mom choose your father? Why are you choosing these men? Why are you constantly framing yourself, despite the fact that you claim to be strong and resilient and, you know, a career woman and smart? Despite all that, why do you keep hooking up with supposedly ain't about shit, you know, niggas? Why? No, he never calls her out on it. Instead, he's like, oh, I can't imagine how hard it must be, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're falling for it, man. This woman is playing the victim. She's not going to be happy. She's not going to figure her shit out because no one's telling her that it's on her. So if we accept that this red pill shit is so rare that even red pill people fall for it. Even red pill people fall for it. Okay? then you cannot expect anyone in entertainment, to put it mildly, I guess, or like to put it like more specifically, to actually be woke on that, or red-pilled on that, or whatever you want to call it, more aware of female nature, essentially. It's just like, it's a very big ask. It's a very big ask, and most people aren't going to be able to do it because they're too concerned with not offending women in general. That's ultimately what it comes down to. They don't want to upset the ladies because they hold them to an extremely low standard of behavior, and they don't ask them to participate. They don't ask them to man up. They don't ask them to like be a part of the solution. They want to talk about the problems. They want to say, well, here are all the issues that we have, but nobody wants to actually address them. They don't actually want to ask a tough question and like get the shit fixed. Because that's asking too much, I guess. It's just asking too much from women. And so, like, this is why we're in this position. This is the reason. Because we at no point said, you know what? I mean, and look, I'm not saying that we shouldn't ask men. Because that's obvious, right? But men are always ready to be a part of the solution. There are men always ready to be a part of the solution, to try to save something. That's what they're about. That's what we, you know, that's sort of, to put it, wait, I thought there was an interaction thing here. Oh, well, whatever. But women are never asked that question. And I think it's time we ask them that question. And, like, no one wants to do it. So, like, when somebody is making a new game or a comic or a oh, I can go up another flight of stairs. Well, hold on before I do that. Or, you know, just like a new yeah, I will. I just want to check out here. Whoa, did you see that? It was weird. But yeah, like, no one's gonna do that because they generally don't think of things in that way. It's just too much for people. It's really strange. But that's how we ended up where we are now. So, yeah, Dave Filoni doesn't surprise me. I don't know why anyone is shocked by that. Sorry, but he's woke. You know, The Last of Us Part 2, all the leaks are right. And the journalists, the shill journalists, they don't even like the content. That's the funny thing. They don't even like it. But they feel like they're either compelled by money, which is possible that Naughty Dog paid them off to basically be like, look, give us a good review, or by their own woke agenda too, because they wouldn't want the trolls, the misogynists, the transphobes, the bigots to be right. So they have to like figure out how they're still wrong despite the fact that they're right on all, and all the leaks are correct. I saw some guy did a review and he was like, if you think that 30 minutes of footage is enough to, you know, to spoil the game for you, then you're an idiot. Now I'm going to go on to praise this game to high heaven and how great it is. And you idiots should also buy this game. You know, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I don't have to shake it. I'm sorry, brother, but you're a moron. I'm not buying your fucking shit. But they're trying to work it out because, I mean, they have to. And the thing is, and I've seen a lot of people predict this. I'm gonna throw my hat in there and say the same thing. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's woke and it checks all the boxes and is a trans character. None of that matters. The reason why none of that matters is there are still people who are going to complain. I'm telling you right now, there are going to be woke assholes that are still going to complain. They're going to say this game isn't woke enough because it should have done things another way. The protagonist should be black. The protagonist should be non-binary. the protagonist, the trans protagonist character, shouldn't have been evil, shouldn't have killed anyone, because that perpetuates the stereotype that trans people are mentally disturbed or something.
Just in case.
That looks like a way through.
Yeah, where am I supposed to go? Can I fit this? Okay. Nothing's gonna be enough because nothing ever is. Alright, I gotta boost her up.
You find me something to climb on. Here we go. There we go.
Oh, I forgot that I get separated from Ellie.
I'm alright! Are you okay?
No! You scared the shit out of me!
No! Stay out there! I'll make my way up to you.
Don't do anything, stupid!
I'll try. You too now.
I'm gonna grab some shit. Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. I gotta quit soon. These progressives think you are nothing more than your collective identity. They have to continuously subdivide people into smaller collective groups to explain why there are differences between them. We have the easy and correct answer: individuality. The women in Why the Last Man act a bit too much like men in women's bodies. Nice texture pop in. I already saw a tweet by Liana K complaining about how a man wrote/developed a game about women massacring each other. Of course she did, and Joel doesn't break his back from that fall. Realism. Well, the thing is, this game is slightly heightened realism, but I think that at the very least, yeah, I get what you're saying. There's still, like I said, there's still some holdovers from Uncharted in the first Last of Us. But I do think that The Last of Us Part 1 is definitely a good game. If not a great one. Okay, I'm just going to go this way again. I guess I got confused. This is a dead end. Guess not. Can I go over this? Yeah. I'm gonna look in this room. Just with the broken back would have made for a very boring game. Yeah. Ooh-wee! Got me a bunch of shit. Although I can't grab some of that. What I don't understand is why Joel hasn't gotten hypothermia yet. Hold your breath. You're going down. I can't go down. Is this where I came in? Just gonna look down here. Make sure that there isn't anything I'm supposed to be doing. There are more rooms there, but... That's where I was, I think. Doesn't look like I can go anywhere else. What's over here? Oh, I guess I was supposed to go this way. But it looked like an area I've already been to. I didn't want to drown. Nothing in there.
Oh, shit.
Are there infected in here? Can I make more? No, I can't. Oh, I remember now. Oh, Jesus Christ, they're everywhere. Jesus Christ. All right. Let's try to get that generator running again.
God damn it.
But we knew that, didn't we? Guys, leave me alone! I'm gonna die. Wow, these motherfuckers be cutting you off and shit. He's upstairs now? Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I don't know if I'm hitting him. Oof, I need more rags. Alright. Let's look around. Once I reunite with Ellie, I think, I'm not sure how long this section is, because I haven't played in a while. But I'm gonna quit once I reunite with Ellie. Actually, I'm gonna improve some stuff. Pop some pills for the skills. Is there anything else? No. All right. I think I'm supposed to go this way. Lucky day. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I remember. Oh, it's locked. I need the key. Let me use the key card that I have. For some reason, this worked. Puzzles, everybody.
So much for that. Gotta find Ellie.
Arrows. That's where I came in. A workbench? Sure.
This looks like a good spot.
May as well do some upgrades. Let's see. Shotgun was pretty handy. So we'll do that. And I have 31
Now we're talking.
points left, so... Now 41 points. Oh yeah, there we go. I think I can make myself a first aid kit. No, I need rags. I need rags. See, like, I can hear that there's shit on the other side of this door, but for some reason...
I got it!
Nicely done.
Not today. You?
I do what I got to do.
Fan out!
Go to sleep, go to sleep. Okay. Just looking around for supplies. The cloth. Okay. Did you just assume the gender of the person? Fucker, he made me waste my ammo. Okay. Okay, let's see. Crafting. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. No. There was something that I saw. Wanted poster. Note to staff. Combination for the security safe for the hotel guest value was just changed. There was something else, I thought. No. Stash note. That's it. I stashed the extra supplies at the Regal Apartments marked with a red X. I may have missed that. I'm not really sure. Wait, where? Oh, I thought that was like a place to swim. Alright. So where the hell do I go from here? That's where I came in. There's nothing in this room. There's a workbench here. I'm gonna use it really quick because I did get some more stuff. I feel like there's something else I could have upgraded, like different stuff, and I'm missing weapons too, which is strange. But I don't know. Yeah, let's do that. Whatever.
It's cold.
Alright, so I came in here. I fought all these guys. I know you missed at least one red X door. Conservative with your shivs. Yeah, I should use them. I just forgot how to do it. Like, you don't just use them, right? They get used when people grab you. Mainly on the clickers. All right, so that door's locked. That door is locked. Aha! I gotta get up there. So I need a ladder. Now, where is the ladder? Or do I just walk up and, like, activate a cutscene? I don't remember. It's been so long. Hi, Lord of Swarm. Alright, maybe there's something I can move. Oh, what the fuck? It's like lying on the ground right there. You can use them to stab people who haven't seen you.
shot the hell out of that guy, huh?
Yeah, you sure did.
I feel sick.
And you just hang back like I told you to.
Well, you're glad I didn't, right?
I'm glad I didn't get my head blown off by a goddamn kid.
You know what? No. How about, hey, Ellie, I know it wasn't easy, but it was either him or me. Thanks for saving my ass. You got anything like that for me, Joel?
We gotta get going.
Lead the way.
All right. So I'm gonna stop it here. Ellie killed her first person ever, and yeah. Anyway. It's you know what? This is a really great game. I haven't played it in a long time. I do have a well. You know, it's a good game, but it does have problems. It does have its share of problems. I think that if they were going to make... Like, if I was behind the development of the sequel to The Last of Us, I would have changed the environment so that they're less linear. Tried that anyway, where there's lots of exploration, not necessarily open world, because you can't... I don't think you could really tell, like, a really, like... focused story and make it open world. I also think that open world games, at least for me, open world games, they can be so big that you never finish them. Like, you just like lose it. They don't have focus, and I think that you lose people lose interest in finishing them. Maybe that, I mean, that's just me. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, I haven't finished it yet because, you know, I'm like constantly like distracted, you know, and everything just feels so overwhelming. Like, oh, I got to ride my horse all the way over here, and then whenever you do a mission in Red Dead, and I think this is true of GTA as well, there's just like these big sections of doing nothing, like driving to the location or riding your horse to a location, and you're having a conversation, and everything is so satirical and drenched in you know, like a kind of cynicism that, you know, you don't really get invested. And I know that it seems weird because I know that our Red Dead Redemption 2 got a lot of praise for its story, but if you look at how it's being delivered, it doesn't know whether it wants to take itself very seriously or not. And I don't personally think that you need to have an Oscar-worthy story to have a really good video game. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm a big Souls fan, because the stories are there, but they're not they're underneath the gameplay, if that makes sense. Like, the gameplay and the environments and the exploration, those things take precedent over everything else, even if it doesn't logically make sense, but it makes the game more fun to me, and there's less time spent just like wandering about. So anyway, I'm on tangent when it comes to open world games. I prefer games that are more story focused. Now, if you're not going to do what Uncharted does, which I think it works really well for Uncharted, which is essentially traversing from one area to the next and going from set piece to set piece, and every time you get into a new set piece, there's another gunfight, there's another puzzle, there's another, you know, set of obstacles. You know, you're driving a Jeep, or you're running from a tank or something, or you're on a train. You know, that works for Uncharted, and I think that those games are fantastic. But The Last of Us needs to, if it wants to carve out its own identity as a game series, what I would do is I would make the areas more open. I would still make them relatively linear in terms of, you know, like the beats you have to hit, but the way you get there can be perhaps, like, you know, broadened in terms of like the many different ways you could do a certain thing. I would also make the combat more engaging in a way, because mashing on square when you're in melee with somebody, I think that needs to be refined. I would like add in maybe, you know, parries or dodges or whatever, and then you have different kinds of enemies that have different kinds of attacks. Like maybe bigger guys are more scary in melee for the humans, right? Because you already did that for the infected, but the humans are largely the same except they carry different kinds of weapons. I think that the crafting works. I would maybe make it to where you could experiment with different combinations, and, you know, maybe you get other results. So maybe a Molotov, I don't know, like if you have the right things, maybe you could do something else with it, or maybe that's getting a little bit away from the survival element of it. I would make the puzzles worth a damn. Either get rid of them altogether, which I don't think you should do, or make them worth doing, you know, where they're actually like complex, at least somewhat, you know. I would add boss fights, because these games don't have any, or some kind of element that has a finality to it. Like maybe it's not a boss fight, maybe it's just like this, you know, a section where, I don't know, someone's trying to close a door or open a door or start a vehicle or something, and there's basically like waves of enemies coming, you have to hold them off. I would put some interactive elements that Resident Evil 4 and 5 had, like barricading a door. You know, that's what you would do with the open environments, right? So maybe like there's infected and they're trying to get to you, but instead of having to fight them, you know, you could sneak past them, you could barricade yourself up inside of a building of some kind, and then like use what's there to like keep them at bay or distract them or something. But basically you're rewarding the player for being being clever and for being resourceful, you know. And I think that that's what you want to get out of a survival game, and make the AI better, you know, like in terms of the human AI should be proactive, and they should use tactics, and they should, like, you know, try to you know, flank you or corner you, or maybe they know where you are, but they know that you're well armed, so they stay at a distance or sneak up on you, whatever. And then, but the infected are more direct. They just run at you, but they have, like, you know, because they're infected, they're, you know, they have they're more likely to run into your traps. They're more likely to you know, fall for you know, fall for your tactics, because they're not very smart. So they just sort of rush in, and their advantage is that maybe they're tougher or whatever, right? So I would also add enemy variety. Like, why is it only the humans are infected? Maybe they already did that in the story, I don't remember. But I mean, it could be kind of cool to see, like, infected dogs or animals of some kind, you know, that become, like, aggressive. Even if they normally wouldn't be. It could make things kind of interesting. You could also have, like, let's say that if the infected are that way for long enough, they, like, merge with other infected, and so you have, like, these, you know, multi-limbed abominations. Like, you just try different stuff. Maybe they crawl around on the ceiling. Maybe there are you know, other things. I don't know. Just maybe there are some that don't even, like, they're, like, attached to the wall or the floor because they've lost, like, their lower limbs, but they're still alive for some reason. So, you know, they've, like, the fungus has kind of grown throughout, and they, like, reach out with their claws and swipe at you, or they spit stuff or whatever. But, you know, you basically, like, create more types of enemies. I think there's a number of ways they could have done it, but everything I'm discussing has to do with gameplay, because the story, I mean, I think that, like, this story is essentially about a father who lost his daughter and had become, he allowed his heart to harden to the world, and he basically became like a survivalist. He lost his humanity, essentially, right? He lost his daughter, he lost his humanity. And then he gets a job to escort a young girl who is immune to the virus to a place where they could possibly, you know, use that to find a cure. And throughout their journey together, he comes to love her like a daughter. And that is the core of the relationship between these two characters and the core of the game. And this is something that Amy Hennig herself wanted to communicate. But Neil Druckmann's takeaway from this was that Ellie was a girl, and that somehow Joel was the villain because he was trying to protect her, even though that was literally the plot of the first game. And that's what he honestly believes. He communicates that by the end of the game, Ellie has realized that Joel is not her friend, is not a father to her, doesn't actually love her or care about her. This is his interpretation, his postmodern bullshit. Okay? But that's not what this game is about. The first game can exist in a vacuum for all I care, because the direction he took with the story for the second game is completely antithetical. And reviewers know it. They know it. That's why they struggle with how to review this game, because they want to give it a 5 out of 5, because they don't want the trolls to win, but they know that the game they have is shit. Even if it, like from what I understand, the gameplay is adequate. It's basically the same. It hasn't changed, right? The environments have gotten a bit bigger, but they're still pretty linear. The infected, they're basically the same. The human enemies are basically the same, except now you know all of their names. So when they die, it's supposed to be really impactful, like, OMG, I just took a life. But then again, like, you go and kill so many people throughout the game that how are you supposed to, like, be traumatized by that? Like, there are deaths in the game that are traumatizing, according to the story of the second game, I'm sorry. There are times where people die and it's supposed to be like a big deal, but Ellie has killed so many people throughout the game, and I guess it's mostly people she seems to be killing because that's what everybody seems to care about, that you're like, well, how come she doesn't care about those people? And of course, this is what happens when woke people get involved. They want to say, oh yeah, the world is bad and people are bad, and it's a bad place to live because everything sucks and everybody's bad, and let me play some emo music or whatever. But as far as like, how do I but then I also put you in a game where you're killing lots of people, you know? It's like in a game like Uncharted, there is a suspension of disbelief. Like, okay, he's fighting thugs and he's shooting them and killing them. It's sort of like Indiana Jones. Like, he kills tons of people in his movies. It doesn't traumatize him, but that's because it's an adventure story. It's like a pulpy adventure story, and all the bad guys in those movies basically deserve it, and that's okay. And that's fine, because it's a movie. Nobody watches this for reality. There's a big difference between, Mad Max and The Road. But with this, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, from what I've read. Which means they want to be able to, like, make things really human and all that shit, but they also want Ellie to be able to kill tons and tons of people. And I think that's a statement about... I don't know, maybe Neil Druckmann thinks that if Ellie kills enough people, she'll be empowered in the game. Which is really strange, because in this one, she does what she has to do. This is the thing about this game. It's all about, like, no one wants to kill anyone. They're doing what they have to do to survive. And it turns out that there are people trying to kill them. Okay? And so they're just going to have to do what they got to do. But in the second game, which is about revenge, which seems like an extremely petty reason to have a story arc that takes place in the literal apocalypse, where you're basically killing other human beings because somebody did you wrong. That's where they're going with this. That's what they think people want to hear stories about in a post-apocalyptic zombie future. And I think it's just like completely not getting it, missing the plot, not caring about what the center message of the first game was, which is about a father-daughter relationship. And I think they despise they probably know that is the central story, but they despise the idea of it, because you know how much feminists hate fathers. They fucking hate fathers, and it's probably because they have father issues of their own. But they do, and they can't stand to see a father, or even a father figure in the case of Ellie and Joel, having a healthy relationship with a young child, especially a daughter or a girl. as it is in this case. And they can't stand that. So they have to deconstruct it, which is all they do is deconstruct. That's all they know how to do. And then they call it art, and they get their artsy-ass journalist friends to review their game and tell them, oh shit, this is a deconstruction. It's so brilliant, so genius. But I'm also conflicted because I kind of hated these characters, but maybe that was the point. You know, that's the thing. Like, this is all bullshit, guys. It's all bullshit. There is deconstruction is bullshit. It's lazy, it's uninteresting, it's bullshit. It's uninspired, okay? Nobody can do it right. You know, like some people will say, well, The Watchmen is a good example of how to do it. I suppose. But even then, Alan Moore did not get what he was deconstructing. He just wanted to shit on superheroes. And so he did. And he wanted to shit on people who had never shit on him, by the way. Like, you could literally, at this point, with how much deconstruction there is going on right now, you could make a story that deconstructs deconstruction. Because there's so much of it. It's become like cliche. It's become the norm to do this. So, anyway, I've rambled for too long. I gotta go. I got shit I gotta do, so... Saints Row 2 is based. Oh, yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2 had a pretty unfocused narrative. I'm not sure what I was supposed to take away from it by the end, even if there were enjoyable moments. I'm not saying the game isn't bad, but if you look at, for Red Dead Redemption, there's a lot that they've done really well. But if you look at the actual individual gameplay, like you say, okay, what is the gameplay system for shooting at enemies? What is the gameplay system for the horse riding? What is the gameplay system for the hunting? What is the gameplay system for the poker game or the, you know, all the like mini games and stuff? If you look at those individual systems, they're not very good. Like, there are plenty of games that have done shooting better. And you would think that by now Rockstar would have figured that out. You know, the melee isn't that great. Like, the systems, for the most part, separately on their own in Red Dead Redemption are pretty, like, mediocre, if not below average. But it's the package together that makes people like it so much. But it really, like, when you're playing it, because I played it the other day, because I was like, well, I'm going to try and get back into RDR2. It's kind of a chore. It's kind of a chore. And everything is sluggish. Like, I know they're trying to go for realism, but when you walk around as Arthur Morgan, you don't want to do it. You just want to run everywhere, get on your horse and just go, because everything is so slow. And I'm like, are you intentionally making him walk like this just to, like, say, look at how long our game takes to beat? So I don't know, it's kind of, yeah, you're right though, the narrative is really unfocused. Wyatt, the fact that only humans are infected is explained away by cordyceps. Every cordyceps only affects one species. Could they mutate? I mean, I don't know. I think that there could be some opportunities to, like, expand. Or you could have, like, just wild animals. Like, why wouldn't wild animals return to, you know, areas like wolves, you know, bears, whatever. I mean, I think that could be interesting too, you know. Brian was supposed to be signing off, but he's got a flow going right now. No wonder he and Allison work well together. Iron Adam John, the mark of the immature man is that he wants to die nobly for a cause. The mark of a mature man is he wants to live humbly for one. It's a good quote. Wilhelm Steckel. The first game is looking for something to live for, while the second one is looking for something to die for or kill for. I understand. Yeah, the second one is just nihilism, from what I've heard. It's just nihilism. I'm not interested in that. Who wants to play? And, you know, people will say, well, I have enough real life out my window. No, it's more bleak than that. Like, it's there. But you know what? People like Druckmann, they actually think that what they've created is the world. No, guys, it's not that dark. Get out of the house. Talk to people. They're nice. Most people are good. The shitty people that are, like, you know, that feel so trapped that they want to, like, quarter off a section of a city to, like, turn into their little paradise. Those people are they are the nihilists. They are the depressed. They don't represent normal people. Normal human beings are actually pretty decent, and they just want to go about their business, and they would like to make friends, and they would like to live a happy life, and they don't want to steal from other people, and they don't want to hurt others in general, right? So this like perspective that Druckmann puts out there, I think he thinks that what he's doing is relating to people from, you know, in the real world, in his fictional world. But only other dickwad nihilist types would think that the actual real world is as or anywhere near as depressing as a game like The Last of Us Part 2. The world is not bad. The sun is shining. It's cool outside. Go for a walk. Enjoy your neighbors. Okay? They're not that bad. It's like this doom and gloom shit. It's really annoying because it's just not my reality. And I live in the fucking hood of Humboldt Park. Like it's a tough area around here, and I want to get out of the city. But there are still good people here. So that's just a fiction. It's not true. Anyway. Most people are good, Ken. They're decent. Let's put it that way. They're not psychos. They're not like just out here trying to take your shit, you know? They just want to be left alone with their families. Anyway, I think this is a save point, but I'm going to climb this ladder. Maybe that's where the save point is. I wouldn't want to have to do this shit over again. Take Dexter, Sarah, take Dexter and Neville to your mom's. It's not safe here. Don't worry, we take good care of her. All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop here. So thanks, guys, for coming and hanging out. Yeah, you know, don't let what they did to the second game ruin your, you know, like any desire to experience the first one, because the first one is great. It's a good story. It's got like its flaws. Like there are things, I wouldn't even call them flaws. I would say that there are elements of the game that are, you know, probably could have been done even better. I would say, you know, it's the same kind of issue that RDR2 has, where, you know, there's a lot that it does well as a total package, but the individual elements are just fine. You know, the combat in this game is serviceable, but it's not particularly groundbreaking. So, and that's one of the reasons why I think the second game is, I think that the shills are gonna give it really high scores, and they already have. Okay, but I want to see what, you know, trusted. I don't know what you know, if you guys have any trusted people you go to for game reviews, but I want to see what the more trustworthy game reviewers are going to say about this. Like, to be honest, and the issue is this is something else I'm going to make a prediction of. Okay, I'll use Angry Joe as an example. Angry Joe, he might have a lot of negative things to say about the game, but I think ultimately he's going to do this thing that I've seen so many people do, countless people. He's going to distance himself from the politics. He's going to say, well, it's not because it's a trans character, and I'm not one of those men's rights activists that has a problem with women in video games. Like, literally nobody cares about women in video games. Nobody cares. What they care about is good games. And the fact is, Neil Druckmann, because he's a feminist, cannot make a good game. He is incapable of making a good game because it gets in the way of his politics. So he's going to have political stuff in his game. And reviewers, even people that you might say, or some might argue, are like, you know, all about the fans. They're all about like the, you know, caring about the you know, the what's in the best interest of the fans and the gamers, are going to give this game a pass on some level. They're going to be like, oh, well, it's not, I don't hate women or anything. I just think that the story direction was kind of, you know, awkward. And like, but they're not going to basically call a spade a spade. Call it what it is, right? And that's going to happen all over the place. That's going to be, you're going to see that. Angry Joe is he's going to make excuses. Jimquisition and Movie Bob, they're going to, if they criticize it, it won't be for the obvious reasons. It'll be for McCrunch, which is bullshit. The crunch thing is bullshit. That's what's going to happen. Most people are going to praise it. Even if they have negative things to say in the actual written part of the review, they're going to give it 10 out of 10, and they're going to say, yeah, there was some problem with the story, and there was some tonal issues, and but 10 out of 10. And all I care about is that it doesn't sell. So we'll see. I hope it doesn't. I don't want it to. Fuck that game. Fuck Neil Druckmann. Fuck Naughty Dog. They deserve to be punished for this. So. For what they did to The Last of Us. Anyway, let me know is there anyone that you trust to do fair game reviews, maybe a YouTuber or a website or something. I think that there's bias that runs all over the place. Even say One Angry Gamer, for example, they go in a little bit too hard on the anti-SJW thing, and they think that anything that has any diversity at all is clearly the SJWs. I don't think so. I don't think that that's the case. It's usually not just with the fact that there is diversity, but in terms of how it's presented and how they respond to criticism when they get it. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to get out of your hair. I'll talk to you guys later on today for the new show. Have a good one.